YouTube, if you're new to the game and you don't know which settings to use, this video is for you. I'll go through every single setting I'm using and I will explain why I think you should use them as well. Before we jump into the video, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps me a lot. I'm also live on Twitch 5 days a week, so if you want to see me playing the game, have any content questions or anything at all, make sure you stop by. Okay guys, let's jump into the video and go through the settings I believe you should use. The best way to find which settings are the best for you is to go into the practice mode and change from one setting to another just to see how they play, because technically it's all personal preference and you have to use what works for you. But I will share you my settings and explain why I use them. You can do copy paste, or you can just play around and choose the ones you like the most using something what I'm suggesting or anyone else on the YouTube. Okay, let's jump into the settings. So all you have to do is just press the icon settings, go to the settings, and you can go. First of all, I would go to the audio. If you're streaming, I would turn all this off so you don't have any copyright strikes. And obviously you really don't need any music. So all I have is just a little bit of sound effect volume, because we all like to hear that bat sound when you hit that perfect. Anything else is by the default. The only things I change is just turn everything off. There is nothing in mode specific you need to change if you're playing Diamond Dynasty. If you're playing franchise mode, then this is where you're supposed to go. In presentations, I would just leave everything as it is and don't change anything, because it works for everyone and I don't really see a reason why would you need to change anything. Okay, and the settings you probably will change the most will be the gameplay. So gameplay style, competitive. If you're new to the game, I would choose dynamic for hitting and pitching difficulty. Reason why is because the better you will become in a game, the higher difficulty will come. So let's say you're starting, it will be rookie, then it will go to the pro, veteran, all-star, Hall of Fame, legend. I use Hall of Fame because when I go into the practice mode, it just really helps me to get my timing right. Other than that, then tutorial tips I have off. If you want to see any tutorials, you just press it on and choose which ones you want. It's quite helpful if you are new and you don't really know about the fielding and how to get better with the batting tips, pitching tips and all. And so because I'm not new to the game, I have this off. But this is quite helpful for if you are like absolutely brand new to the game and you never played it before. When you go to decisions, all this is off, and by default I don't change anything, and I would not suggest you change anything as well. Auto fielding off, auto throwing off. You don't really want your CPI players to make any decisions. You want to control everything. Auto base running the same. You don't want your players to start running around without you even knowing and asking them to do. Auto sliding, like all this is off. So, and these are on. Like I said, I don't really change anything, but if you want, this is where you go and change it. Regardless of the rules, you also don't change anything, it just stays as it is. Umpire accuracy, perfect. Injuries on. This is mostly if you play franchise mode. Regardless of miscellaneous is also, you don't really change anything. CPU pitch delay, but again, this is where you can change if you want. I personally never change anything here. I change from general to controls. This is where you have to start making decisions how you want to play this game. Base running interface, button select. This is how you should be. You have to control everything with the buttons. Let's say you want to throw to the first, you go with a circle on a PlayStation, or you want to go to the second, you press triangle. Swing input. I would choose buttons, but you can go analog flick, analog stride. But buttons is the most accurate way, and I would suggest you guys use it as well. Hitting interface. If you're new to the game and you are never planning to play online, then you can go timing, directional. If you are new to the game and want to become better, then zone is the way to go. The reason why, because it's the most accurate hitting interface and it will just help you to become a better player from day to day. So PCI anchor, I have it preset. You can turn it off if you don't like it. If you're new to the game, I would leave it preset because it helps you to stick your PCI to the point. Let's say you're struggling and you're dropping your PCI, you can just lock it up and in, up and away, or down and in, whatever you want. And it will just keep your PCI on that particular spot. And if you know your opponent is pitching there all the time, it will just guarantee, and then you will not drop your PCI. So it's a very good feature added last year. And if you're new to the game, it 100% will make a big difference in your gameplay. Don't really change anything else with the PCI anchor. Plate coverage indicator, you have it on PCI center. I like to use the new PCI, which is BAT, because I just really think it's actually a very good addition to the game. It represents the bat. Even in the past when they said then PCI doesn't really represent the bat, actually it does, because now they're giving us a PCI which actually does it. So I'm playing around. I probably will use it for a month, so I want to just have my opinion. At the moment I really enjoy it, but once I will start playing online it may change. PCI inlet, I don't have anything here. PCI outlet, I don't have anything here as well. I just like to use the PCI center. Another good option for you if you are new to the game would be altitude as a PCI center, PCI in and none, and PCI outer would be reverb. probably will go with cyan and 70% because it just fades out and it doesn't really distract. This will make your PCI very big, and when you will play on All-Star, it will be just much easier to hit that ball. Because I'm trying to experiment with the new PCI, this is what I'm using the last, let's say, 7 or 8 hours, and so far I'm really loving it. PCI fade out, I have none, because you can have in and outer, but I just really like that nothing is really distracting me. If you will put outer or all, it will always fade out and it will distract you quite a lot if you're new to the game. So I would just have everything off. No, I would just have it none. Guest pitch, I would have it off, and vibration also off, because every single time something will happen in the game, your controller will vibrate, and believe me, that's really awkward and you will not like it. Now let's talk about the pitching. Pitching interface, I would suggest everyone use pinpoint. Even if you are new to the game, you will struggle at the beginning, but you will realize that it's the way to go. You can use also a meter because it's more easier for the new players, and I used meter when I started, but I think I just used it for around a month and then I changed to the pinpoint, and that was probably the best decision I made, because now when I'm trying to play online and trying to compete in the ranked season games, it actually helps me a lot. Pitch trail, I have it on. You can have it off, but I just think that it really helps to understand how your pitchers are throwing their pitch because they have the pitch trail. Again, throwing interface, button accuracy, you really want to control everything. You don't want to trust CPU to do the job for you. Accuracy on, throw cancellation on, because with the new fielding, you will need to cancel a lot of throws because it's much more difficult than it was before. So make sure you have this on. Catch position indicator, I have the drifting ball, and dive jump, I have 2 buttons. Now let's talk about the camera. So hitting view, I have strike zone 2. It's very close, but also not so close, so I can still see when the guy is trying to like just throw the balls. And with the pitching view, I like to use the same view. Strike zone 2 for hitting and strike zone 2 for pitching. The reason strike zone 2, it still lets you see the first base when they want to steal, so it's quite a good option. If you think that it's too close for a pitching view, then you can go with offset zoom. It's probably one of the most competitive pitching views to use. I just like to make sure that nothing really changes, so when I'm hitting and when I'm pitching, I have exact the same view. For example, if you want to go with the strike zone, then I would also use the pitching view as a strike zone. It just really helps, and the more you will play the game, the more you will understand the same view. It's actually very helpful. So in-play offense and in-play defense, you really don't change anything. In display settings, I also don't change anything, so I can go through so you can see what is here, but you just leave it as it is, and you can turn off the hot zones or turn them on. I have them off because they are distracting me. Strike zone, you also can turn it off, so if you don't really want to see the strike zone. Pitch info, same. Pitch description, I like to see all this information, so I don't really change anything. Swing feedback on, off the wall ribbon, off. There's like a lot of things you can customize, and again, this is all personal preference, so you make sure that you choose the ones you like the most. But if you are new to the game and you want to become a little bit better and start playing online, then these are probably the settings you should choose. Again, like I said, if you don't really think that these settings are for you, you can try them out. Go to the custom practice, try the settings I'm suggesting. If something doesn't work for you, you can always change. Custom practice is the best place to choose the settings, and also practice with the fielding, pitching and batting. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe. It really helps me a lot. And other than that, if you have any questions, make sure you put them down in the comment section below. Have a good one and see you on the field.